Myself Ayyappan. I'm from SION Semiconductors, Bangalore. Today I'm going to introduce a new project on blinking an LED using Android app, and it is done by using an Arduino board. And we have an ESP8266 module, Wi-Fi module it is, and we have an Android mobile phone for that purpose. And over to Arduino. Why we are preferring Arduino for this purpose? Arduino is actually an open source platform, and it can run on every platforms like Linux, Macintosh, Windows, etc. And it is either cost effective. It's cost effective, and you have a huge community to ask doubts or clarify doubts regarding your projects and all. And it is like you can program it via a USB cable rather than a serial port, because most of the modern computers does not have a USB like serial port for that. So you can easily program it through a USB cable. And for an Arduino you will have two receiver transmitter pin respectively, and almost 11 digital input output pins you will have. These digital input output pins are PWM pins, and they will have a value from 0 to 256. And this is the analog pins we have, and analog pins and power input pins we have. Analog pins will take the values of sensors. You can share the sensor values or sensor data in this analog pin, and power input pins are reset, ground, VCC, and you will have two types of VCCs here, 3.3 volt and 5 volt. The microcontroller used in this Arduino board is Atmega 328, and you will have an inbuilt LED on the 13th pin, that is you can see here, and a receiver transmitter LED will be also there. As I have already told, we can program this Arduino using a USB cable. You can see a USB cable here. And over to Esp module. This is the Wi-Fi module we are using, and the important feature of this Esp module is it provides Wi-Fi access to every microcontrollers, and it is mostly used with Arduino purpose, Arduino programming, and it is also cost effective, and it is programmed via AT commands. You will have several AT commands to configure this Esp modules, and here you can see some almost 8 pins are there, and you have a receiver pin, transmitter pin, a VCC, a ground, a reset, and a channel select pin will be also there, and GPIO pins will be also there. And if you wanted to check this Esp module whether it is working or not, you have to connect the receiver pin of Esp module to the receiver pin of Arduino, and transmitter pin of the Esp module to the transmitter pin of Arduino. If you wanted to run an application program, you have to cross couple these receiver and transmitter pins to the receiver and transmitter pins of Arduino. That you can see here, the receiver pin is connected to the transmitter pin of Arduino, and transmitter pin is connected to the receiver pin of the Arduino. And over to the mobile phone, Android phone. Here we are using an app known as QMS app. And QMS app is a self-designed app, and you can have a IP address option and a port option and a connect to server option. This IP address is actually the IP address of this Esp module, and the port is actually the port to which this Esp module is connected. So now we can see the programming section of this. This is actually the Arduino sketch we are programming on it, and these are the programs I have written for this purpose. So you can see a software serial, because in order to see this, in order to transmit serially, we have a software serial purpose, and this is the this is how the Esp is configured. That is, second pin is configured to the receiver pin, and third is configured as a transmitter pin. This is where the void setup consists of, where the baud rate of the Esp module is configured here to the Arduino's baud rate, and these are the input output configurations here we have made. These are the 11 and 12 pins. We will connect the external LEDs, and the 13th pin we have the internal LED. And as I have already told, we have certain AT commands to configure Esp module, and those AT commands are listed below. And this is the AT plus reset will reset the Esp module, and AT plus CW mode will set the mode of the Esp module to either access point or some other modes. This is the set the status of the Esp module, whether it is running or not, or this AT plus EIFSR will provide the IP address of the Esp module, and AT plus EIP mux is equal to 1 will establish only one single connection, and if it is 2 it will establish two connections, and it depends upon the value it will establish number of connections. And this is the AT plus EIP server. It will on the server or and port of the Arduino. And over to the body of this program. See, if ESP8266 dot available, that is if ESP is sending a message, that message is read character wise here, and here we are sensing the pin we are pressing. Actually we are taking here the external pin of the Arduino, that is the 13th pin. So we are reading that 13th pin number, and also if we wanted to turn on this LED through an Android app, we have to mention the state, either high or low. So we are sensing the state here, whether it is 1 or 0, and those values are in ASCII, so we should convert it into normal decimal value. And on that time we will print the pin number and state of this pin number and state for the accessing purposes. And now we will close the connections now, and now it's time to burn the program to Arduino. So that we have an upload button here, and first we will check whether the program is correct or not. So we can check it via the verify options here. So our program is correct. Now we can upload it to the Arduino. For this purpose we have to cross couple the receiver and transmitter pin of ESP with the Arduino. So now we can open the serial monitor to check whether our connections are correct or not. Yes, our connections are correct, and it has given a ready option here. And this is the IP address of the ESP module. It is displayed through that AT plus CIFSR AT command, and this is the port to which it is connected. And here we can see the number of connections and its connection IDs. So now we wanted to use the Android app to control this. So this is a QMS app, and this local host. In this local host we have to give the IP address of this ESP module, that is 192.168.4.1, that you will obtain it from that serial monitor, and the port to which we are connecting is 80. Now we can connect it to the server. Before that you have to configure the Wi-Fi of your mobile phone to the ESP module's Wi-Fi, that is AI Thinker 86F0. Since I have already configured, there is no issues in that. So now we have to give that corresponding pin access, that is pin is equal to the 13th pin we are configuring, that is the internal LED of Arduino. 13, state is high. So if we are giving this, the corresponding LED of the Arduino will glow. And if we wanted to turn off, the same thing we should repeat, that is pin is equal to the external pin number, internal LED's pin number, the state is equal to 0. So you can see here the LED has turned off after giving that input, that pin is equal to 13,0. So we can do as many as project with this Arduino and ESP. It's quite interesting, and you can control this LED with an web page also. Only thing is that instead of mobile phone we will create an HTML web page, and an additional file for that is we can either write it in that additional file in a PSP file or in a jQuery file. So through like you can create buttons on the web page like pin 11, 12, 13, and you can, if you click on that 13th pin, you can get the LEDs glow. And either also you can transmit your data to cloud through this ESP module. It's a quite an advanced one, so you can try this for many applications, and it is quite interesting here. So this is all for the day. Thank you.